And welcome back. The online news site Politico featured the headline, "Could a school board fight over critical race theory help turn Virginia red?" Well, the school board in question is in neighboring Loudoun County, where over the past 2 months, the debate over teaching critical race theory in Loudoun County public schools has rocked cable news outlets. Critical race theory argues that laws and policies from the past continues to discriminate against Black people and other people of color. In Loudoun County, critics claim that this is racially divisive and presents an inaccurate view of the United States as a racist nation and should not be taught in Loudoun County schools. Cynthia, Loudoun County Public School Superintendent Scott Ziegler, however, believes that the county's effort is designed to address issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that critics conflate those efforts incorrectly with critical race theory. What do you think?
Well, I think Scott Ziegler said it. Loudoun County has become increasingly diversified. And I think the conflated view of critical race theory is happening in certain part of Loudoun County that never had to think about it before. And I also want to make another point about critical race theory. Critical race theory is not a curriculum. It is not content. It is a lens and a framework from which to look at history and how history has played out and how it has been written by who controlled everything over our last couple hundred years. And that has been white people.
Well, but to be fair, Cynthia, there have been terrible examples, maybe not from Loudoun County, but from other school systems where students are being told that because they are white, they are the problem with race and racism in our country.
That would be the wrong way to teach.
That is wrong to do to anybody.
That would be the wrong way to teach it. But there is a way to teach it and a way to frame it so that students can have an honest examination of the good, bad, and the ugly of our history. There is a way to do it.
Well, let me go on to Laurie here because we'll come back to this. We have plenty of time here. Laurie, while Montgomery County Public School System has not been the focus over such debate, although there was part of this brought up during the last school board election when we were talking about the boundary issues, that was touched on the issue. MCPS did recently complete an anti-racist system audit, also to address issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion similar to Loudoun County. So are we going to see a similar response here in Montgomery?
It would help to get a similar response if currently the Board of Ed is still meeting and not allowing public testimony in person. And I watched part of the last board meeting, and there were several parents who publicly went on their Zoom and said, we want to meet in person. We want to talk to you in person. And you're not, they're asking to have better access to the Board of Ed members. So that's one of the reasons why we're not hearing as much. It's not as public as it should be. And there's not as much transparency from Montgomery County Public Schools. And some parents were complaining about that, including the president of MCC-PTA. So that's, parents don't know a lot what's going on right now. And 61% of our county are Democrats, while 15% are Republicans and 22% are unaffiliated. So we're, strongly progressive, and these are progressive things that are being taught in this is a movement in the progressive side.
Well,
and I feel
here's the flashpoint, because you now have the head of the National Educational Association, Randy Weingarten, come out and say that schools are not teaching critical race theory, just as Cynthia advocated a few minutes ago. But the fact is that this is a national movement, much like the Tea Party movement, which was organic, where people are upset about what's going on in their school system and what their children are being taught. It's,
Well,
a,
and
it's
it's really a distraction too. I mean, I wish that instead of talking about critical race theory right now, you know, I hate that they're talking about progressive agenda, but what I'd love to see is actual talk about how are we going to meet the fundamental educational needs of all the children who have just missed a year of in-person instruction. That should be the most important topic right now, and I don't hear anyone talking about it. It's very disappointing to see them just talking on both sides or complaining about critical race theory. It's a real distraction to what the real problem is.
Cynthia, we have about a minute. Do you have any further thoughts on this?
Well, let me just say that here in Montgomery County, we are experiencing a pretty tumultuous transition from pandemic year to what the hell is next year going to look like. We also have a leadership transition, and we are hampered by not being able to personally engage right now. I know it's a scramble for MCPS to try to figure out it, you know, where kids are, because we don't know where kids are a year later, a year and a half later. And people are going to have patience and trust and goodwill, at least from now through December, while we all figure this out, but especially let MCPS do their jobs.
But also, we need to make sure they're listening to the parents and really interacting with the public. And I don't feel like there's much of that going on right now.
Well, there probably isn't going on, but there is a lot going on, believe me.
Well, Laurie, I think that was
highlighted
by the last election for the school board. That was a key element in the candidates that run. They felt that there was a lack of transparency from the MCPS and responsiveness to parents. Those candidates didn't win, however, but that was certainly vocalized during the last election. I want to go on to our last topic today, which